everybody, and welcome to Creativity Time. I'm Tatiana from Tatiana Creative Stamping Up Adventure, and I'm an independent Stamping Up demonstrator in Australia. Wednesdays are 10 a.m. on Facebook. I go live for some creativity time. I am a paper crafter. I have loved paper crafting ever since I was a child. Made some weird and wonderful things. And I became a Stamping Up demonstrator because I've started being interested in card making and found that the products, the colors and the stamp sets all really appealed to me. My goal for my Wednesday live sessions is to inspire people to spend some time being creative. It's such a wonderful thing. Well, I think it is anyway, but it is such a wonderful thing. There's so many papers and thoughts on being creative is so good for your mental health and general well-being, and I totally agree. You know that you're watching live if you see the little red live there. Otherwise, you are watching the recording either on YouTube or on Facebook, but that doesn't matter. It's still the same creative inspiration. So please sit back, grab a cup of tea and enjoy. It is new catalogue time, and if you'd like a copy, please let me know. I'm more than happy to send you out as long as you are in Australia. But I haven't got my new catalogue goodies, so we're going to use a stamp set that I fell in love with in the last annual catalogue, and it's still in this new catalogue, and it's stunning. It is called To a Wild Rose. And I've got an interesting technique. I haven't tried this technique before, but I thought I'd give it a go. So let's head to the craft desk and get started. Brilliant. As I've said, we're going to be using the To a Wild Rose stamp set. These images are not at 100%, they're at 75% because they're so big and bold and beautiful. It's a photopolymer stamp set, and it's two-step stamping, meaning that you can stamp the outline and you can stamp the inside, and that's what we will be doing. And then we're going to take that a bit further. And then there's also the coordinating dies, Wild Rose dies, and these cut out the flowers, and we won't be using the flower cutouts, but I did die cut this piece and we might need a label. We'll see. And I have chosen the colors Coastal Cabana because I absolutely adore it, and Mango Melody, and that's thanks to our color coach. I went, oh, I like that combination. And so I've got Coastal Cabana card base, and I've cut a piece of what's it called? Dear, my iPad's saying the broadcast has been interrupted. I hope not. I hate weather. I think I'm okay. Well, it's come back, so hopefully it's okay. I shall continue. I have die cut using the stitched rectangles, the second largest one, from the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And you can get 2 of these stitched rectangles out of one sheet, which is really neat. We're only going to use one, and what we're going to do is firstly stamp the outline of the flower. So let's grab a block for that. And one thing I didn't prep was a piece of grid paper. Not that I need the grid, but just to protect. So I've got my Stamparatus foam mat here because that is my favorite surface to stamp on. And when you're using photopolymer stamps, they need a little bit of padding underneath to get that perfect imprint. So the Stamparatus mat I found is absolutely perfect for that. And I just wanted to protect that from ink. I'm going to stamp the flower outline. Looking, I probably need to re-ink and stamp the flower outline. Let's give it a little bit of a pressure, and perfect. Let's see, definitely do one here. So I'm kind of creating a floral background. And we'll put one right here. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Won't close the ink because we will need Melon and Mambo once again, but I will clean my stamp. I was a bit zealous with the stamp today, and I got ink on the inside of the outline. Hello Patricia from Indiana, thanks for joining me. And I'm now taking, this rose stamp has 2 images that you can stamp inside, and I'm taking, they're not numbered, I'm taking the less detailed, no, the more detailed, the less coverage one of the 2. As you can see, I'm taking that one. And what we're going to do is ink that, stamp it off, and then ink in our roses. Now, see that petal there, that less ripply kind of petal? That lines up with there, so that's how I know. And I'm taking advantage of the photopolymer, the clear stamp, to see where I'm stamping, and hey presto, our flower is semi-coloured in. Again, of course I can't see that petal there, so we'll do this one first. Do you want me to bring your Vans or another pair? I have no idea what you're talking about, Megan, but thanks for joining me live. Maybe comment in the wrong spot. I don't know. So that one also lines up with that petal, so that's nice and handy. And stamp. Oh, I forgot to stamp that one off, so it's a bit darker, but that's okay. Because after we clean this, we're going to do something a little bit different. Because I wanted to try this out. I've never done this before, and if you have heard of this technique, let me know. Yes, I thought so, Megan. So I've got the old style aqua painters, because the new ones are still in shipping. Hi Jenny. And I've got a little bit of water in there. I don't need too much. And I've picked the tip with the smaller tip, so the less brushes and less length. And what I'm going to do is now watercolor that ink that we stamped on. And the concept is that because I did stamp off some of it, there'll be lighter and darker areas, but more watercolored. And now the outline can bleed as well because we're using the same ink, but that's totally okay. I'm clearly not good at multitasking either, because I was replying to your comment and forgot to stamp off. So it's all good. And basically I am taking the ink that we stamped and using it to watercolor our image. Something different. So I don't know what you would call this. Stamp coloring, stamp watercoloring. So you can see in that one that the darker areas of the ink, the stamped on ink, still remain darker, and the lighter areas of now, the areas that had white, as you can see down there, have now been colored in light pink. So it looks like I've done a lot more watercoloring than I really have. Hello, Cheryl. Cheryl Lee, I didn't realize you lived in Calgary. That is awesome. I have been to Calgary. So there we go. I know exactly where that is. Welcome home from work. I hope this is a good de-stressor. So I'm just kind of bummed I didn't stamp off over there. Well, it's okay, we'll work it out. So yes, if you've heard of this technique, let me know what's the official name. But otherwise, I'm not sure what, or you can suggest what to call it. But I just, I was lying in bed last night thinking, what can we do that's a little bit different? And it is important to use a paper that can hold water. So this is the watercolor Fluid 100 paper. And this will lighten up because of the water. Now I'm not squeezing the brush at all. I am simply going over the image, and that's it. So I'm just taking some of that excess ink off onto my chamois. I was using the paper as well. It doesn't really matter which way. I kind of like the chamois because it feels like I'm not wasting resources. There we go. So there's a darker version and two lighter versions. I personally prefer the lighter versions, but that's okay. Now I'm going to take the leaf and do something very similar. It's not a huge amount of space for the leaf. As you can see, I really do love this stamp set. It has been well used. And I'm going to use Coastal Cabana for the leaf. And fill in kind of, not so much, well, the gaps, yes. Let's go with that wording. Fill in the gaps. The leaf will be perfect right there. And I'm going to do the tip. Thank you, Kathy. And with the leaf one, there is again two, and they're a little hard to tell which one to use, but I'm going to pick the lighter of the two. You can see that these two, and that one has the stem. The darker one doesn't have the stem, and that's how you can tell them apart. And let's not forget to stamp off as well. So tap, 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 stamp off, and line that in. Tap, 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 stamp off, line that up. And the photopolymer is super easy to line up. Stamp off, and bing, bang, boom. Thanks, Cheryl. I don't know the name of the technique. Let's come up with some concepts. Enjoy your dinner. And oops, I've taken the big brush. I do prefer using the little brush. I'm going to call this Stamp Watercolor. Hey Nicole, hope you're well. So I'm going to, this will work with two-step stamping stamps that have, well, two steps that aren't solid color essentially. And a quick drink of water. So let's start kind of assembling the card. I have Coastal Cabana here. I've got it cut as a top folding card, and my idea is that we will layer it. So I've got another stitched rectangle. This time I've cut it out of Whisper White simply because I just didn't want to waste the watercolor paper behind. And I've got that beautiful lacy die that coordinates into the wild rose, but it's not there. Oh, there it is. Fell out as I was stuck there. So I used that, and my idea is that we'll put that behind there. this will kind of sit. We will need to trim off the edges, but kind of have another piece sitting behind as so. I'm loving it. And we do need a sentiment. And if I place the sentiment there using this beautiful die, it means that I will cover up the darker rose, which stands out a little bit more. So there's a way of covering up things that weren't supposed to happen. And I'll use Whisper White for that. So I'll need one for the inside and one to cut out my die. So I'll just be right back. Beautiful. Love it. And so now you can see a bit better that that covers up that rose, but we've still got the hint of that rose underneath. And I haven't mentioned that you should nominate someone to receive this card in the mail. So I am sharing some sunshine with the world by offering you to nominate someone that you think deserves, could do with a lovely card in the mail just to brighten their day. And what I wanted to use was Blessed. I wanted to stamp Blessed to Know You. So the stamp set also has some beautiful, I like that you can mix it up. So there's Blessed to Know You, Blessed and Grateful, Blessed to Be Your Friend. Actually, let's do that one. Blessed to Be Your Friend. Haven't done that enough. So I will stamp these one after the other for the lining. But then there's also True Friendship is one of God's greatest gifts. I really like that. And then you can mix and match. You can say hello. You can just stamp the Blessed on your own, and then you could stamp it on the inside. So many combinations. I will stop prattling on about them. Simply watercoloring. But that doesn't quite bring in the bring the stamping bit into it. Oh, Kathy, congratulations. That's so exciting. I actually had a new team member join last night too. So excited. I have got a card all ready for my new team member. So I'm using the Coastal Cabana to Be Your Friend. I gotta say myself that was quite nice. Straight stamping. I'm quite impressed. And then I'm going to use the Melon Mambo for the word Blessed. Quick and easy watercoloring. Easy stamp watercoloring. Yeah. We'll need to come up with something. I like quick and easy watercoloring. Yeah, I like that. Actually, it is quick and easy watercoloring. There we go. Lined that up. Honestly, photopolymer stamps are so easy to line up because you can see right through them. And I know I haven't centered that, but that's because I intend to chop off the edge. So that's very much intentional. And before I put that away, we need to stamp the inside of our card. And I'd already put that stamp away. Stamped watercoloring. I think that's quite to the point, isn't it, Megan? Easy stamped watercoloring. That might get too wordy though. So I'm just inking up the outline. Oh yeah, no, I love it. I've asked for you to put ideas out there, Cheryl, so that's Two-stage stamped watercoloring. Yeah. It's getting wordy, isn't it, Kathy? So I just like to put a hint of flour at the bottom in for the insert, and almost forgot, almost put my stamp away. And let's stamp the envelope, going with the envelope front today. Again with the same rose. No colouring on the inside or the envelope because we want the person to be surprised. Oh, you're catching me live tonight. Yay, Roz. Well, it's not tonight for me. For me, it's day, morning. Got the kids off to school, hubby's at work. And then I've got to go finish buying little man's birthday present because he turns 9 tomorrow. I cannot believe it. So we're going to adhere that card insert. I'm going to be a trendsetter, am I? I don't know about that. I don't think I will. I do need to come up with a name though. I'm thinking stamped watercoloring, stamped watercolor, stamp it, wet it. No, that's not quite right. So there's the inside of the card. And now we just need to do a bit of arranging for the front. This is slightly still damp, but it should be okay. Now, because it's damp, I'm going to use a strip of tear and tape down this edge. And where's my tape pick? Take the pointy end of the take your pick tool to peel off the backing paper. And now I can add this lacy bit. Do we want it a little bit or a bit? I think just a little bit. That just gives it a nice good adherence. And I wanted those two to overlap. See, we can angle that way. This one a bit down, so that one can go up a bit higher. I am talking to myself. My son said that to me yesterday. He said, I'm talking to myself. And I said, talking to a very smart person. I don't think he quite got it. Yes, no. So basically you just play around with the positioning. And don't forget that you're putting that down as well. I like. So I've carefully flipped that, and I'm going to draw on the back so I know where I'm trimming. I'm going to take the nifty now, if you want for it to be quite on a right angle, I know that this is just a tiny slither, so I can line that bit up. And tiny slither. Hey Victoria, thanks for joining me. Oh, and need to, of course you could use scissors, but I just wanted the straight edges to be very straight. It's never late because there's always a replay. And now I know that those two edges need to go up there, so I can adhere this one down. And because I'm using the multi-purpose liquid glue, it gives me a little bit of that wiggle room to align it down. And we know that that will go across there. this will go, I want this one to be straight, so bring that trimmer back in. And what I'm doing is I'm aligning the point, this point and this point along the same line on the trimmer, so I know that it's straight. You can use the big trimmer as well, it doesn't really matter. And that will go along that edge there. Pretty, but I feel like it needs just a little bit of something else. Maybe some ribbon. Let's try. What have we got? What can we try? Got the crinkle seam ribbon. Except I shouldn't have stuck that down. Or thinking maybe gold. Adding some of this beautiful gold twine that's from the Forever Greenery trim combo pack. Let's see, just, ooh, I'm liking that. I haven't done it properly, but I do like that. Okay, let's go with that. So I'm going to do some cheekiness. Put that to the side. Let's see, hopefully this will work. Going to be a little tricky. And I'm going to peel back what we've stuck down. Just that tiny bit. There we go, nobody's going to notice that. And now I can wrap it around a stitched rectangle, and it'll get tacked down a little bit by that little bit of course that's the bit that has, so I want 3, 1, 2, 3. I want them kind of sitting next to each other. Oh, fingers and thumbs. Let's do this properly by adding a little bit more tear and tape to the other side, and that will hold it down. And we won't have any problems. Okay. There. So now I've got 2 spots that it's adhering to. Perfect. I'll stick that back down. Beautiful. Now before I trim and cut any of that, I'm going to adhere it down onto our card. So I'm going to add multi-purpose liquid glue. Remember that was going to sit on the edge of our card here. So beautiful. And then I'm going to tie this towards that end because we've got our sentiment sitting right there. I'm just going to do a double knot. So I've tied 1 knot, bringing it through again. Perfect. Double knot worked. I need my paper snips. Now we'll add the sentiment using dimensionals. And you may notice that I run my fingernail along the back of the dimensional as I place it. Top tip that I learnt from another demonstrator, just means that the backing paper kind of lifts up and makes it super easy to pick up. That's so funny, my iPad's now telling me you're watching, Vicky, and it's like, I knew that already. You'd already commented. There. And put this trim. Isn't that trim beautiful? Like, it's just a little bit, but it added something to this card. Just putting the trim away so that it doesn't go rolling around my desk. Oh, the mess I've made, but the fun I've had. So that's simple watercolor stamping. Well, there we go, simple watercolor stamping. Did we come up with that as an option? Should close my glue, and I want to see if I can turn this into a bow. Got a double knot there, so it's going to stay in place. Now, this twine is a little more difficult to do bows with, but it is possible. And I have done it. There. I like that it's sideways, and we'll just trim that end off. Perfect. And there we have it. Simple stamping watercolor stamping. Stamping watercolor. Oh, might have to might have to watch the replay to work out what I said just before. But there we have it. I'm blessed to be your friend, and quite a simple card. Oh, well, that was clever. I've just realized I attached the card insert to the back of the card front, so we're going to rectify that. We're going to take another piece of Whisper White, quickly stamp the other corner, and it will look like we've added some extra space for writing a message. Simple as that. There are no mistakes in card making. There are only embellishments or additions. Should have paid more attention to what I was doing. Gotta laugh, keeping it real. Have you ever done that? Let me know in the comments if you've ever done that one before. I've got to say, this was a first for me, but easily rectified. Bing, bang, boom. There. So now I've got totally lots of space to write a beautiful, heartfelt sentiment to someone who is so lucky that I'm so lucky to have them as a friend, or one of you people to have so lucky. So please do nominate someone. Nominations are restricted to Facebook watchers, and they will be open until Monday night. Monday the, checking the calendar, the 15th. But there, blessed card using To a Wild Rose stamp set, and yeah, simple stamped watercolor. I don't know, we'll work out the name, and maybe it will be a trend. I doubt it, but that's okay. I am so grateful for you spending some time with me and watching. I hope I have inspired you to be creative. This is my June host code, so if you place an order using that host code, for every $50 you'll collect a sticker as part of my customer loyalty program, and with 10 stickers you'll get a free a $50 product. So keep that in mind if you feel like you need some creativity time. Thanks for showing us the stamped watercoloring technique. Stamped watercoloring technique. I think that's it. Stamped watercoloring technique. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.